Hey everybody out there, you're tuned in to 91.8 The Fan. You're in my corner, and I have a very special guest in the corner. Would you like to unveil your not-so-secret identity?
Hi, I'm Ross, the community manager, PR person, and general dog's body at Ghostlight. Nice to meet you all.
And we're so happy to have you here on the show, but for the fans who, might not be familiar with Ghostlight, can you explain a little bit more about the company and what you do?
Yeah, sure. We're a European publisher. We originally started bringing over Japanese games for console, so stuff like the Agarest series, Persona 3 Portable, Trails of the Sky, Persona 2 Innocent Sin, and released them on console, on handheld. Recently, well, I say recently, a couple of years back, we started bringing a few of the console JRPGs to PC. We started with the Agarest series. We've since released Elmenage on Steam and GOG, and we're currently working on Way of the Samurai.
And I know a lot of people are super excited for Way of the Samurai 4. I'm sure there's not a lot you can say, but people are waiting with bated breath.
Yeah, I mean, we're working on it. We've fixed a few fairly painful bugs recently, but there's still plenty more to squash. So until they're done, we can't really set a firm release date, but we are working on it. So fingers crossed that
Now,
goes a little smoother than it has been.
Now, out of curiosity, can you mention maybe any funny bugs or anything, or is that a little bit too much?
I could if there were. The weirdest one, I think, was a grab animation, which, when you tried to do it, instead of doing grab and throw, you'd sort of launch into this 3 or 4 minute sort of grab thing, weird looking grab thing that wasn't supposed to be in the game, while the enemy wasn't grabbed and could then proceed to, well, continue to hit you until you died, and that wasn't terribly helpful.
No, being basically stun locked in an animation for 3 to 4 minutes would, I think, drive anybody crazy.
Yeah, I think the 3 to 4 minutes is a bit of an exaggeration, but it felt like it when you were stuck in it.
Oh gosh, that does sound kind of terrible. In terms of PC games, though, I will say it's so nice to see you guys do that. I have gotten a chance to play Agarest War, at least the first one, and that game's so much fun. And I feel like there's a big base of people who love that game who have PCs versus consoles.
I think there's a pretty big audience for JRPGs on PC. I mean, some of it is people who used to have consoles and maybe drifted over to PC. Some of it's people who sort of into anime and sort of connection there and sort of interest in JRPGs, but not having a console to play them on. Some are people who have got both, and yeah, some people are just curious. But yeah, there's a lot of interest in them on PC, or at the moment, anyway.
And for that game specifically, it's actually as Japanese RPG as you can get because it has very quote-unquote questionable situations. And if I remember correctly, I think the back of the original box had the one girl trying to eat a hot dog, quote-unquote.
Yeah, I think that might have been the US box. I think ours was a little more restrained. But yes, I do remember that scene. I played probably a few thousand hours of the series completely because I did the testing on the original console releases in Europe, and I also did a lot of the testing, though not quite so much of it, on the PC version. So yeah, I've played a lot of Agarest over the last few years.
I can't imagine once you get to the second time you had to do it on PC, you're just like, not again, no more.
Yeah, there is an element of that. I've, as I say, thousands of hours, and I mean, I really enjoyed the original Agarest when I first got to it, but after you've played it for so long, it gets hard to see why a game's good sometimes. So that's another thing about the Steam release, is you got to see a lot more people enjoying it, and that kind of reminded me. It kind of reminds you how it's actually a good game. You've just played far too much of it to really be able to remember that at times.
I guess the plus side is maybe sometimes you could hit that auto button, because I definitely remember there being like an auto combat button.
It certainly was handy, yes. I mean, first playthrough, I didn't actually use it at all. I was enjoying it. I was enjoying the combat, and also, wanted to test the battle system. I only used it in the first on console really for testing purposes to make sure it was working correctly, that you weren't just dying as it was doing terrible stuff. But no, it was always fine. But did use it a bit more on PC because having already played through it multiple times.
Definitely, I totally understand that. And for any anime fans out there who haven't picked up that game, I highly recommend it. It's so interesting, the fact that you can basically birth your next character.
It allows for a much more epic storyline as well, because rather than this big war that sort of lasts, 10, 15 years at most, as a character can actually grow through it, you've got one which spans 5 generations of a family's lives. So it's, it gets really quite, the sense of scale that gives is a bit different to a more standard JRPG.
Definitely. Now, I know that there's a game that you guys just came out with that I believe it was May 28th. Would you like to talk about that game?
Yeah, sure. Flame Over. It's a firefighting action roguelike which plays a little like a twin-stick shooter. You're Blaze, firefighter, and you go into the Infernal Industries office block, which is burning pretty badly, actually, and you go through through 20 floors, putting out fires, rescuing people and cats, and it's pretty good fun. There's a lot going on. We put a hell of a lot of work into the fire mechanics. This fire will spread, well, like a fire does. So if something is hot nearby and something's flammable, it will catch fire. The one real difference is that the fire also shoots fireballs at you, which
it just
isn't
kamehamehas at your face.
Yeah, which isn't something fire usually does, but yeah, different materials will shoot out different types of fireballs, from one that causes an explosion and splash damage to a sheet of fire along fabric. And it's really quite cool. I mean, it's the best looking game we've done in-house by a long way. It looks absolutely gorgeous. The artist did a fantastic work on it, and it stitches together, we created thousands of rooms, and it stitches the levels together it is a lot of fun. And if you want to check out more, you can look at the website, which is flameovergame.com.
Awesome. I hope you get bonus points for saving the cats, though. Those are the most important, right?
You get extra life for saving cats.
Perfect. Fantastic. The 9 lives thing. Kind of like that. Yeah. Now, have you heard any general reaction to the game yet? Like, are people talking about it? Like, what has the players been saying?
People seem to be loving it. I mean, so far we've only had, last time I checked, 1 negative review on Steam, which is pretty amazing. And everyone apart from that one person seems to be really, really enjoying it. It was released on Vita a month or 2 back, but we've sort of added a tutorial, because the one flaw the Vita version had was it didn't explain itself very well. So we've sort of concentrated on that for a PC version. It sort of explains itself a hell of a lot better. But yeah, the Steam reviews have been fantastic. We've had quite a few YouTubers really enjoy it. We had one of the big ones, NerdCube, looked at it, and he really seemed to enjoy it. So reaction's been pretty positive.
Fantastic. It's great that you're getting some attention from the Let's Players too.
Yeah, we sort of sent out a bunch of codes to quite a few Let's Players, so it's good for they're enjoying it.
Well, no, I'm glad to see that you as a company, support that, because I know some companies out there are a little like, I don't know, maybe this would be a bad idea. But, fans just seem to love watching other people play games.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's not something I totally get personally. I tend to prefer text, but, there are a lot of people now who want to find out about a game through video, which makes sense in a way. You can see it in action as someone's playing it, and it's in our interest to try and catch their attention and let them have a look at the game and show it to them. I mean, if we don't, they won't find out about it, and there's no chance to buy it.
Exactly. Now, I was kind of curious about, before the game came out, did you get a chance to, show it off, maybe at any shows, or, send out any tech demos or anything?
We took it to 2 shows, actually. EGX. Actually, no, 3 shows. We took it to Gamescom, but I wasn't there. And we also took it to EGX and EGX Resd in London. And that was the Vita version we took to Resd and Gamescom. EGX and Gamescom. And Resd was the PC version. Well, actually, it was a PS4 version running on PC. It was a kind of hybrid. But, yeah, everyone seemed to love it there. I mean, it's also really valuable feedback-wise, because you get to see how people are playing it and work out what needs to be changed. A good example of this was the original starting room had 2 doors. One you came, and there's only one of them was the exit to the level, and we changed it to having only 1 door because I think EGX, everyone used the wrong door. It wasn't even 50-50. Everyone just went through the wrong door.
Need to have big flashing lights and an exit sign.
Yeah, I mean, you can, in hindsight, you can see why they do it, because what happens is you come in and then you rescue people, and when you rescue them, they go out through the door you come in, and that's supposed to be sort of leading down to the exit. And the idea was you just go through the other door, which leads up, so go to the next floor. But everyone saw the NPCs going in that one, so they tried to go in it too. So we switched it to 1 door, and that works a bit better.
Yeah, I can see how that would work a little bit better. A really interesting thing I've noticed about the game too is that I assume if you're in the fire for too long or you take too much damage, you get chased by death.
That happens if you run out of time. Yes. We decided basically it was. I think someone actually suggested it to us at Gamescom. Wouldn't it be, or bit before that, it'd be a cool idea if. Actually, no, that's something else. No, came up with it, and just thought it'd be a cool idea if rather than time running out, death would chase you around the level. It's kind of fun. It makes it a bit more challenging when he is chasing you. I mean, you're faster than him, but you can outrun him. Although he can go through walk through walls,
dear.
swings around about there. But you can outrun him usually, except if you've still got fire to put out, at which point it becomes a lot more challenging. And there's...
Sorry,
yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, don't worry. There's also a secret version of death that can appear if you sort of do something to the shopkeeper, steal from him, which is even more challenging, but I'll leave that for people to discover themselves.
No, I love that mechanic. I think, we've kind of seen something somewhat similar to that, I think, in, like, Persona, where you're in the dungeons for too long and then you get chased by that one guy and you're just like, no, leave me alone. I never asked for this. But, in this one, it makes more sense because the time's out.
Yeah, Persona was actually the one I kept thinking of when we were talking about it. Apparently everyone else I've spoken to thinks of Splunky, but for me I think Persona, so...
I do too. I'm in the same boat as you.
Yeah. At least there are 2 of us now, because I was feeling pretty lonely there.
But yeah, the game looks so much fun, and, for anybody who wants to get it, they can grab it off Steam, correct?
Yep, it's available on Steam. It's also available on Vita, PSN, and it's coming to PS4. A word of warning, it is It may look quite cute and cartoony. It is brutally hard. We had quite a few reviews comparing it to Dark Souls in difficulty. So,
Oh wow.
yes. I mean, it plays fair generally, but it's not easy.
I was thinking about picking that up on my Vita, but I don't want to throw my Vita across the room, so I guess PC it is.
PC, I mean, Vita version's great. PC version, you've got, well, it's HD, better resolution, and also you've got an improved tutorial there. So it explains itself a bit better.
Did you find struggles with possibly with the first tutorial, and that's why you enhanced it in the PC release?
The original tutorial we had was we took to EGX. That's another thing we changed because of feedback there. Basically, everyone ended up being a bit more confused by the tutorial than if we just threw them into the first level, which is a flaw in a tutorial. So we scrapped that tutorial and came up with something else for Vita. And I think one of the problems Vita had is it's very much kind of, on Vita, it's very much kind of a Marmite game. People loved it, or they sort of couldn't quite work out what was going on and bounced off it quite quickly. I mean, people liked it, generally absolutely loved it. We had quite a few people calling it their favourite Vita game. We had a few tens, and a lot of reviewers really seemed to love it, but there was that element where people weren't quite able to get past the early stages. So we worked on polishing that up for PC.
Definitely. See, I have gamer rage. I'm one of those people that goes for all the trophies. You know, I go for the platinum, and then when I get to those hard ones, I just break controllers. So I don't want to break my Vita anytime soon. But for the fans out there, is there anything else that they should be, you know, looking forward to? Obviously, Way of the Samurai 4, and, you know, is there any other games to look out for on the horizon?
Way of the Samurai 4 is the big one. I mentioned it earlier, but Flame Over's also going to be coming to PS4. Not got a date for that yet, but keep your eyes peeled. We're looking at a few other games, but nothing's been confirmed there yet. So hopefully we have news sometime soon, but I'm not really sure when that's going to happen, or even if it will, or with a few of them, even if it will. But, you know,
I totally understand. I mean, the fans, a lot of the fans, especially when they knew we were doing this interview, were like, ask him about Trails in the Sky 2. Ask him about that. And I'm like, there's nothing officially announced, so I can't.
Well, I mean, I'd love to work on Trails in the Sky 2. The original Trails in the Sky was my favourite game we did. I love it. It's brilliant. I ended up, when I did the evaluation, we actually got it because I saw people talking about it on Twitter, and I was like, you know what? I quite fancy playing this game. So I spoke to my boss. He got an evaluation copy in, which came in about a week after. I ended up borrowing the work PSP and the game so I could finish it off at home. And then, even though I knew I was going to be testing it after that, I did a lot of testing. I sort of did the PR community management for the European release of Trails. And I also helped out in the warehouse on release day, sticking it in boxes. So if you ordered it from us, there's a fair chance I was involved in packing it at some point.
That is so cool, I think, for the fans to hear. But, you know, you never know. I know now I believe there's an HD remake announced for sometime this year for the Japanese audience. So maybe we'll see that on Vita.
Well, it would be nice. I mean, I'd like to see more. I mean, we tend to, rather than get long-term deals, I mean, we've got long-term relationships with companies, but we tend to get games on a game-by-game basis. So I think SC, for example, is being handled in Europe by Xseeds by themselves without us. So, you know, if it's available to us, I'd certainly love to pick it up because I love the first game. But Xseeds might end up the deal can't be done and Xseeds do it themselves, or they get someone else to do it in Europe. But regardless of who's doing Trails in the Sky SC, you should definitely pick it up. And if you're in Europe, you should pick up the PSP version of the first one because I worked on it, and that just makes it better.
Exactly. And it's an excuse if you don't have a PSP for whatever reason, you should get one. So many people, it feels like nowadays when I go to a lot of these conventions and shows, they have more DSs and 3DSs, and I'm like, you're missing so many fun games on the PSP or the Vita. Please fix that.
Yeah. Yeah. You could also play the PSP version on the Vita, so you could get a Vita as well, and the Vita is an awesome little handheld. It's the only console I ever got on launch day, and I do love mine.
Yeah, it's got a fantastic screen. The screen is so beautiful.
It makes any PS1 game. I was playing Final Fantasy IX a week or two back on it. It looks brilliant on the screen, and the Vita is also really comfortable to hold. I sort of found the PSP. I mean, it sort of wasn't designed for how I was playing it because I was using it for testing. So I was playing it for like 4 or 5 hours straight. But my hands would cramp up. Whereas the Vita, they feel fine when I use it. So it feels a lot better.
Yeah, I can actually agree with you because when I have a tendency to play handhelds right before I go to sleep in bed. So for the PSP specifically, my hands were curving too much because it's smaller. And the Vita, it just fits just right.
It's the best feeling handheld I've ever come across. Just the way it sort of feels in your hand, it just fits really nicely, I find. But that could just be me.
It's okay. The Sony bias is real on my show. I actually just ordered this this football PlayStation kind of jacket. Almost like the varsity type jacket, and I'm like, this is awesome. So.
That does sound pretty cool, actually. I've got a fairly minimal amount of gaming-rated clothing. Most of mine sort of, well, from bands rather than games. I've got a Mario T-shirt somewhere, but most of mine sort of music-related rather than gaming.
No, I totally understand that. My roommate's the same. I keep trying to get him shirts because we work with a company called Shark Robot for all of the shirts that we sell, and they make a lot of humorous video game related shirts. And he's like, no, I'm fine with my all black concert collection of shirts.
Colours? What's this?
Exactly.
Can't be dealing with colours. Black.
All black all the time. But for the fans out there, if they want to keep up to date with what you guys are doing on the internet, where can they do that?
Right, yeah, we've got a website, ghostlight.uk.com, and that's got there's a weekly blog on there, and there's also a shop if you want to buy any of our physical things or check out our collector's edition. We've also got Twitter, which is at Ghostlight Games. There's a Facebook page which is Ghostlight Games as well, I think. I'll just check. If you give me a sec, I'll just check that one because
no problem. Well, I want them to go to the right place too.
Yeah, it is Ghostlight Games. I managed to remember it. And we've also got a YouTube. If you want to check out the Laughing Jackal side, it's laughingjackal.co.uk, and there's also a link to the Facebook and Twitter feeds there.
Awesome. Well, hopefully they'll keep up to date on that, and we'll wait with bated breath for Way of the Samurai. I'm very excited for that, and I know my fans are as well. Is there anything else you'd like to tell the fans? Any, words of wisdom, dating advice, predictions for the end of the world?
End of world's next Thursday, actually.
Oh, well, that's a little bit earlier than I planned, but just gonna have to deal with it.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised too when I found out, but apparently it's next Thursday.
Time to empty my savings account.
Yes, so what you should all do is spend all your money on Ghostlight stuff. Because the world's ending, so you won't need it. Don't actually do that. This is not financial advice, just so you all know.
Well, for the fans out there, we have a tradition here on 91.8 The Van, and I was wondering if you'd be willing to participate in it.
Okay.
It's not gonna hurt, I swear. There's no tar and no chicken feathers involved. We just ask if you could do a radio bump for us.
A radio bump?
Yeah, we basically ask if you could say, "Hi, my name is," you insert your name. "I do this," you insert what you do. And you're tuned into 91.8 The Fan.
Yeah, sure, I can do that.
Sure. Do you want me to write it down for you? Just in case?
Yeah, that does sound good. My memory isn't always perfect, as you may have gathered through.
Alright, I'm typing, so for everybody hearing the machine gun, that's me. There we go, and whenever you're ready, the floor is yours.
Okay, does that come through? Sorry, that hasn't, has it come through?
Oh, I sent it through the chat.
Yeah,
okay.
I've got it. Got it. Sorry.
No problem.
I'm not very good at using Skype. I don't use it very often, so I managed to get confused with interface.
It's okay.
Apologies, everyone.
Skype has a tendency to, just at random intervals, quit working, but it's on everybody's phone. So at this point, it's just convenient to use it.
Yeah, it is very convenient. Okay, let me know when you're ready and I can read that out, I guess.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay. Hello, my name is Ross Brierley. I'm a community manager, tester, PR person for Ghostlight. And you're tuned in to 91.8. Oh, sorry.
How about you just do the last line again? And you're tuned into 91.8 The Fan.
And you're tuned into 91.8 The Fan.
Perfect. Now, don't feel too bad because I've had, so many voice actors come onto the show and they mix it all up. So you're perfectly good. This is like the little test
at least I don't have to do this for a living, so there is some excuse, maybe.
Exactly. No, I totally get it. But thank you so much for joining us and talking about Ghostlight. We really enjoyed having you on the show.
Thanks for having me. I enjoyed it too.
And for any of the listeners out there that missed any of this interview, don't fret. You can find it on the website within the next few days, so keep your eyes peeled to 918thefan.com and your ears tuned to 91.8 The Fan, where we play everything you want and nothing you don't.